Exactly 2 years ago today, I was in Kenya. The trip that I went from, my last race before I went was a 14:45K, and my first 5K after was 13:33. So big drop. A lot of people have asked me to get into depth about what I did in Kenya, how I got there, if it was worth it, because the first video I did was like, I didn't know what I was getting into.
Damn. He don't got a clue in the fucking world.
That video I uploaded the day I got there, took some clips, and then just lost motivation to be alive. So first, why I went there and what it was like before. So I was at Texas. I went after my sophomore year at Texas. So my freshman year I was hurt. Sophomore year I was bad. And then I was like, I don't need to be doing this running stuff. If I'm gonna be bad, I'd rather do something else. So I had gone 14:11, I think was my PR. So after my last race, Big 12s, I was already planning on going, but Big 12s, I wanted to get a regional qual, 13:50, make a big jump, and I went out right off my PR in the 3K, like 8:17 I went through. Blew up, closed in like 4:50 pace, went 14:38 or 39 in front of my whole team. The last event. Didn't score a point. We still ended up winning conference. We never lost conference when I competed. But, you know what I mean? That's very embarrassing. So I had a chip on my shoulder, was like at my lowest point before I went. And then Yusuf Bismana, who just won the 800 indoor, came in from the UK. And he was like, man, you know, I went to Kenya, they got me right. That's why I dropped so much time in the 800, the 1500. You've got to go there, they'll get you right. He was really pushing it. He made it sound like the worst thing he'd ever been through. And then he was like, it was worth it though. Booked a ticket there, stayed at 2 guest house, which Yusuf set up. We call him Fly. Fly set up, $500 a month, food, and everything included. And so nothing went right when I got there. Week 1, altitude sickness hit for like 6 days. It's the same symptoms as malaria. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna die. It's over. Like I'd never been that sick in my life. The weather, I thought it'd be hot. It was cold because it's altitude, I guess. Kenya, it was like 60s the whole time, 60s, 50s. And I just brought shorts and t-shirts, so I was cold. 60s, 50s, and then it go down to like 40s and 30s, and I'm not ready for that. Got no jackets, not a single jacket. And then training-wise, every group almost shut down because it was the Olympic year. So you either made the Olympics and you were in Tokyo, or you didn't, and you were like resetting. And another thing was the track was closed. Normally there's a track in E10, whatever, 5 minutes from where I was staying. It was closed. The next nearest track is Eldoret, which is an hour away by bus. So what I would have to do is, if I was doing double threshold, whatever, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, bus an hour in the morning Tuesday, do the workout, bus back an hour, bus another hour in the afternoon, bus back an hour after the workout. And do that 3 times a week. So just 6 hours busing. A lot of the workouts I want to do on flat ground, and there's nowhere flat in E10 more than like a K. So a lot of busing. In the morning it'd be busy, but doubles there, no one does double threshold. So in the morning it's very busy. Everyone's there. I'll see all the guys training, and there'll be like 60, 100 people on the track at once. You just have to be very cognizant of like lane 1 and stuff. In the afternoon, empty. So at the start I trained with Julian Wander's group a little. That didn't really stick though, because they're a marathon group. I'm not a marathoner. Their stuff was way too long. Then I trained with some of Fly's friends. Shout out Nick, shout out Abdi. They helped me a lot. They were cool, they were my age. Some social interaction stopped me from going crazy, but that was like once or twice. And then for the most part, I just trained alone. I jumped from 70 miles a week to like 100 something there, 110-ish. And I did a bunch of mobility to stop myself from getting hurt. And the biggest benefit I got of going to Kenya was getting all these coaches I've had in my ear for like 5 years out of my ear. You know what I mean? Like the coach at Texas wanted me to do this. It wasn't working for me. And coaches a lot of the time at schools like this would rather, if their way's not gonna work, they'd rather you just get cut. Because if you're better when you're not listening to them, like, that looks very bad on them. So it's good to get Texas coach out of my ear. Coach Crows, who coached me in high school, has a very specific type of training style too. Both of them, I wanted to get away from. I was like, I need to figure this out because I'm not good enough doing what they're saying. So either I'm not good enough, or it's what they're saying. If I'm the problem, that just means I'm not good enough. There's nothing I can do. I have to assume there's something I can do. So I went, did my own training, didn't listen to anyone, found stuff on Let's Run of like what the best pros do, and ended up working out. I just did a bunch of double threshold, no long runs, upped my mileage a lot, and had no problems with injury. It was a blessing. Got a lot of training, learned a lot about running, recovering, living the lifestyle. Started going crazy at the end. I was sick, I wasn't talking to anyone. man. Just did 9x1K, like cruise. Oh my god, it's miserable, bro. But good experience. Raining, hail, wind. Bro. It's a wasteland. I couldn't get my visa to leave because you need a COVID test to get in the airport. Rain, wind, hail, nothing can stop me. Okay, I'm leaving. Okay, so it's July 7th. I got sick on Saturday, which was the 2nd. But it ended up, obviously I got it like just 3 days later. Was losing it, had to get out of there. And I forgot to mention this part. Fly sent me over to Kenya, where he was like, you should go. And he was like, man, it was so hard. Right? But when I get there, probably my last week there, I'm with Abdi, one of the guys I would see. And I was like, God, I'm here for 6 weeks. Fly was here for like 5 months. How did he do it? Like, there's no way like he's just that tough. He's like, what do you mean? You have it way worse than him. I'm like, what are you talking about? He came here alone. He's like, no. His coach was with him. His whole team was with him. He brought a flat screen TV. He brought a PlayStation. He brought his whole wardrobe. He brought his Balenciagas. What are you talking about? He was living it up here, and he was in a much better... I was lied to! It's been a pleasure.
See you next time. Bro.
When I came back after all that stuff I went through, 6-7 weeks in Kenya, alone, I was worse actually. I was worse than when I left. I was doing like Ks at like 5-minute pace, and then when I came back, I was doing them at like 5:10 off like immediately, like right when I got to Austin. It was just worse. We did our first workout as a team, Texas, and I was still like, I got beat by a bunch of freshmen, like 3 or 4 freshmen. And people will just talk when you're in this situation. They'll talk like, oh, you went to Kenya just to get worse, which is actually like, damn, like if that is kind of funny if I did, but it's like a hater mentality. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, at least I'm trying. Maybe it didn't work. You guys aren't even trying. And it's not working, obviously, because you're not trying. But, you know, that was immediately the first couple workouts. Then I kept doing the double threshold training, integrated with some of the Texas training. And I won the first race, just a dual meet. Then was like one of the top 2 guys. Me and Haftu were just the best at that point. And then I ended up getting 33rd at Nationals, which is like my best race by far. 33rd at Nationals, breakout race, then 13:33 in indoor, 7:46 converted, 3K, 3:57 mile. Just big breakout year, all because of this little trip I took to Kenya, where I learned to run. And then outdoor, we're not going to talk about outdoor. Outdoor didn't go well. And then I transferred. So that's to answer all the questions about Kenya. Now there's like a little Q&A I'm going to do from a thing I put on my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram or on TikTok to ask questions like this. Colin asks, are you altitude training there? No. People thought I was going again. Never. I'm never going again. Definitely not alone. Maybe with like people I really loved. That'd make it fun. Do not go alone. And would I go? Would I go again? No. It was like, specifically in my situation where I'm like, I have trouble not listening to people I trust. It's hard for me to not listen to them. So it was nice for me. If I did it again, I'd just go to Flagstaff, man. Too much. Too far. Too much stress. The food was good. Wonderful. I only ate like some little things, tea and like some sandwiches outside of like the guest house I was at. They cooked everything for me. Breakfast. Best mango juice I've ever had. Best bread I've ever had. Like best eggs. Everything was so fresh. Not a lot of spices though, but like so fresh. Bro, this is the best food I've ever had. I take the lid off. Look at this. Bro, it's so good. Anyways. But it was the same like 4 meals. So after like, at the end of the trip I was going crazy just because it was incredible food, but it's the same 4 meals. I was like losing it. Was the trip really worth it? Training wise, no. I just needed to get away from the people in my life so I could figure things out for myself. John Achu, Nathan's dad. Do you like ugali? I never tried ugali, actually. It's like a rice thing they have. Johnny says, I love you, bro. Love you, too. Running culture like there. Not everyone runs. I guess it makes sense, but I would think, like, if there's running should be like soccer, but no, people like still like soccer more there. But the culture is good. If you run, people live to run. Lots of pros are there. It makes it easy to get your runs in if you want to find a group or anything. Everyone's very supportive and nice. Like I'll wake up and there'll be at 6 a.m. People will be climbing up the hill to the running spots where the groups meet. People will be running down and forth doing fartleks. Everywhere people will be meeting up and running. So you can definitely feel it even if you're not with a group. Is it just like IG Reels where there's anywhere from 10 to 50 people doing a tempo together? So there are some big groups, especially at the tracks. You'll find them like it'll be a one person wide, 15 people back. They're just splitting their watches to get a tempo in. But on the roads, I didn't see that as much there. But it's also during an Olympic year, so probably wasn't as much going on. People do not eat that much there, man. I was getting hungry. It makes me like wonder about stuff like injuries and all that, but they don't eat a lot. Like tea and bread for breakfast, and then like a light chicken and rice type of meal for lunch, and then I don't even remember what dinner was. Spaghetti and cheese, which was good. It sounds gross, but it was good until it wasn't. Like at the end of the trip, spaghetti and cheese, the 90th time in 5 weeks, I was losing it, but it was actually good at first. How long do you think it will take for your body to get adjusted to altitude? It takes like, I never went up gradually. Some people say go up gradually. That's too much time. It'll take 3 to 5 days to hit you, and then if you go up to like where I went, Kenya's like I think 8,000 feet, it'll last for like 5 days. Then you'll be good. Why don't you have Strava? How do you track your miles there? I have Strava. I have Garmin Connect. I just don't accept anyone. And even if you did get accepted, my runs are all private. But I do have a Strava, and I track my runs with Strava. How quickly did you ramp up mileage? I jumped straight to 100 from 70. But I did mobility after every run. I ran twice a day. All injuries come from the spine. I never stretch, but always mobility. And that's not to say I went 70, 100, and held 100. Obviously, if you jump like that, you're going to be exhausted some days. So I'd go like 100 pace and then miss a day. And then 100 pace until I could hold it. Or not miss a day, but like cut a run, stuff like that. What was the date you got there and the date you left? I got there around June 20th and stayed until August 1st or so. I was there for like 5-ish weeks, 6 weeks. How was the terrain compared to everything you train on in the United States? Everything is like packed clay there. So nice to run on. Can you show us the mobility exercises you said you used when you went to Kenya? I'll put the link in the description. It's just a Bowerman mobility video. What were the biggest lessons you learned from different experiences and people there? I was really hoping for like some sort of training method that I could like replicate without thinking, but it's just honestly the secret to getting good is like there's different ways to get good training wise. You should find what you like the most because you're gonna have to do a lot of it. Like if there's one secret, it's do more than you think on hard days, and then recover more than you think you need to on easy days. So whatever training you like the most, that's what you should be doing on hard days. Because like some people love long runs, some people love short intervals, some people love tempos. It's gonna take a lot of it to get good. So you should pick the one you like. Favorite Kenyan runner, David Rudisha, sickest Olympic win ever. On a scale from 1 to me, how hot was it? Nate asks. It was not hot, dude. It was like a 3 or a 2 because it wasn't like freezing. Probably like a 3 or 4. 30s at the lowest. Sometimes it'd be raining, and 30s for like 2 or 3 days. I had to hand wash and dry my clothes. If I wasn't ready for the clouds, I couldn't dry clothes for like 3 days. So I just have to last on what I had. One day I did a run in the morning, 11-mile run in the rain, came back, showered. The shower was cold. One clean pair of shorts left. So I just wore them, sat in bed until the next day when the sun came out, and then ran in those shorts and dried all my clothes. Hard experience. There's nothing given to you there. I can see how they end up good, dude. Because if you want it, you have to take it. Do you want to go pro? If I can, I would love to go pro. Love you, Yaseen. Love you too. Thoughts on Taylor Swift? I like a couple Taylor Swift songs, but every person who actually listens to Taylor Swift, I'll tell them I like Shake It Off and Look What You Made Me Do, and they'll like look at me like I'm an animal. Like apparently those are her worst songs or something. What does your remaining eligibility look like? I have 2 years of everything except outdoor. I have only 1 more year. But I'm probably just going to take this last year. Is it safe in Kenya? I bought a little flip phone to carry around because my family thought it'd be dangerous. I didn't end up needing to use it. Apparently Nairobi is more dangerous, but I was in E10 the whole time, which is like more rural. That's all the questions. Next 2 videos are going to be scripted, like the Nothing Is Promised video and then the How to Be Better video. So if you like those, be locked in for the next 2 weeks. Thanks for watching.